Welcome to Align with Ariana. I am your favorite psychic medium. I am able to go beyond the veil of life and death to connect with spirits that are sometimes nice and sometimes not so much. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I want to let you know that my content is very real and very true. So enter at your own risk. I am going to do this Tell My Story on Aaron Hernandez. I have received a ton of requests to complete this for this Tell My Story edition of Aaron Hernandez. Aaron is here and he's saying that a lot of his friends just used to call him A, so he wants me to call him A. He's saying that he, number one, is very saddened by what has taken place. He was very saddened by a lot of this energy and the things that surrounded this. He wants to be very clear that he feels like a lot of the pressure and a lot of the things that had taken place with him were because a lot of people were looking at him as, basically he's saying, a demon. A lot of people tried to demonize his character and look at him like some evil guy that he wasn't. He's also saying that he did, yes, he's saying, yes, I did have demons, but I was not a demon. He said that a lot of the things that did come into or interact with his soul was a lot of different energies that he felt like he carried. He's mentioning, number one, a lot of these energies that, a lot of energies and emotions that he had started when he was about 15 years old. He's making references to 15. It was very hard for him to channel his anger. He was very quick and known to have a temper, and a lot of people didn't want to challenge him in any type of way. He's saying growing up, he did have a particular friend, which was probably his best friend that he was connected to. But he's saying that his friend that he had, that he was connected to, possibly someone with a B. But he's saying that he was able to be friends with this one particular person and they connected very strong. He said they were like brothers. There was nothing that could separate them, but he said he felt like a lot of things that separated him was his rise or his way into fame. He said that he always knew that he was going to be famous and do something because of his connection with what he was so passionate in. I keep picking up like an Aries. I'm not sure if that was his sign, but I keep picking up a Capricorn, Aries, or Taurus energy. He was very determined and he was very headstrong. He made sure that he was not going to fall behind, so to speak. He's saying that it was one time around the time he was 16 or 15 that he was going to be kicked out of school, and this energy of him being kicked out was something that actually made him or forced him to get his grades up to par and get his head on straight with things. He's saying that his energy was not more so in school, but more so of the benefits of what he was doing to connect through sports. He was able to connect, and a lot of people saw him a little bit differently. He's also saying that in his school or where he grew up in an area that was predominantly melanated black people. He's also referencing black and brown people, saying that a lot of people knew him in that type of way. But he's saying that it was very hard for him growing up because he was surrounded by the energy and literally by connecting with a part of himself that he felt like he didn't know just yet. But he said he was able to know that. He was getting to know that, and those parts of him were coming out. He's saying as he grew older to about 17 years old, that's when he realized he really had talent as it related to football. At 17, he began to make what he calls his mark on his signature or his signature way of doing things through football. He said that he had a particular move or some particular way he moved, and he's saying that it was called a jug, but it was some type of particular way that he moved that was his signature. But he learned that actually he's making references dancing, because he's saying that when he was younger, he always wanted to know how to dance. He wanted to know how to dance, like dancing was his thing. So even though he did learn it, he's saying that moving was his thing. He loved to dance, that his connection was through dance and not anything else. Everything that he was connected to before sports had related to his body movements, and he's saying that that's how he feel like he connected to this particular woman. This particular woman that he's also referencing, her name might start with A or K, but it's definitely, or someone with a T, sorry, a T. A K, or T. He's making references to the height of her name. But he hasn't gotten to her name all the way yet, but he's making references to it. And he is saying that this person was very connected with him. They met very young. They had a child. He's mentioning a child. He's saying they met very young and they had a child very quickly. He's saying that his connection with this particular woman was someone that he felt like was just more so a friend. They was deeply connected in friendship, and when they were younger, they were very strong, but they grew apart as he was getting older and more so into his career football. He felt there was a lot of dishonesty actually on both parts that he's mentioning. He's mentioning there was dishonesty on her part and there was dishonesty on his part, but he feels like his dishonesty is more so justified, because he's saying that it came with the attention and what he did, versus her, she did not have the attention that he had, so he feels like it was more so justified. But he does want to be clear that he apologized. He is very sorry for all of the hurt. He said one time they got into an altercation or something happened with a knife, but he's making a lot of references to a knife and saying that something happened where someone was cut with this, and I'm not sure if she cut him or he cut her, but someone was cut during this situation. But he's saying this is something that he thought that they were going to get over and move past, but this was like the ending of the relationship, or this is what brought it to terms. He's also referencing that he did a lot of things that he were not very happy about. He's making references to a vehicle and a car, and actually he's also making references saying that he possibly hit someone with a car, or something happened where he hit someone with the car, but it was by accident, because he's saying that he was intoxicated. He's saying that something happened as it relates to drinking, and he hit someone with the car, but he was not trying to do it. He's saying that he's genuinely sorry. He's saying that a lot of things came out when he was drinking, or when things came up, but he's saying that he hit someone with a car. And he's also making reference to a burial, or some type of burial. This is possibly something that he had taken place in, with a burial of someone, and I'm not sure if this is someone that he hit or something, but he's making a significant amount of references to this. And he's saying that he thought that he hit a deer. He thought it was a deer because it was so heavy, but he realized that it wasn't. He's saying something. He's also mentioning a few people that were there, but he making a lot of references to a security guard. But he's also making references to someone that was able to support him emotionally, because down from that point, he's saying from that point it was like a downward spiral. He was not able to get over this. He's also mentioning a freezer, some type of freezer. So I don't know if the burial relates to someone in a freezer, but he's making a lot of reference to a freezer, or he's saying placing someone in a freezer, and that he never got over it. So I'm not sure who this was or what happened, but he's saying something about a freezer. He's saying that he thought that he hit a deer. He's making references to his career just going up in shambles, and he's also making references to a gun. It looks like as he hit someone with the car, he wanted to make sure this person, because he was completely out of it. It looks like he shot someone. He's saying that he feels like this is his only way to get through and heal, so he wants to be truthful. But he is saying that he did shoot someone. He's also saying that he shot someone, and this looks like the same person that he's making references to with hitting someone with a car. He's also saying that when he spent his time locked up, he is mentioning something about a contract deal, something as it relates to money that was going to be paid out to him, but it was going to be paid out to his daughter, but he did not want his ex-wife to benefit from this in some type of way. He didn't want her to benefit from this, but he wanted, he knew about a contract that it was going to be paid out and that it was going to go to his daughter. He is saying that he felt like out of all of the trouble that had happened, he owed his daughter this contract, and this contract relates to a significant amount of money. He's also referencing that he did not feel that the money should go to the mother. He's talking about someone with a T, so maybe her name is something with a T. But he keeps saying that he feels like she did not deserve, or she doesn't deserve this. A lot of his earnings, he felt like the mother was just trying to take from him. And he's saying that he wanted his daughter to actually be with a family member or a sister. He said that he wanted to move the daughter to an auntie. He wanted to move the daughter to an auntie, to have an auntie take care of her. So he was more concerned with where the money was going, and he felt like the money would be better with the aunties. He's saying that he was not able to see her a lot up until his last days, but he really felt her energy and he wants to connect. He's saying that he did receive some type of pictures or photos or drawings of her, and he was able to keep those in the room. He's saying a lot of those things were taken down or torn down and just discarded, and he's not very happy about that. He said that she always used to call him Sunshine, or vice versa, but she always viewed him as the sun because his smile was so bright. He's making references to this as it relates to her daughter. He's also making references that he feels like her connection to him is still there. He's saying that they had some type of insight, knowing they cared a lot about clouds. Like, she drew him picture of clouds and he loved it, the sun and the clouds, but he also made reference to that and saying that that was their favorite bond and their favorite connection was some type of clouds. And he's also making references to her. He wants her to know in any type of way that he loves her and he's sorry for a lot of the hurt. He's also saying that he feels like that his only way of resolving a lot of the karma and a lot of the things that happened or took place was by solely getting this daughter, or getting his daughter, a contract. He wanted her to be completely set for life, basically. No worries about men. He was very protective of her, and he does not want her to connect with men, because he's saying that he knows how hard it was for him. He's saying that he knows that he had a lot of traits that were very abusive, verbally and physically, and he's sorry for the things that he had caused. He genuinely wants people to know that what I am picking up on is that it was something that happened when it took place with his death, and it wasn't someone else's fault. He is saying that this is not something that was someone else's fault. This was his way of paying back what he feels like he owed. He said this is his only way out of this situation, out of karma. And he's saying that he wanted to finally silence the demons that were going on in his head, in his mental space. This was something that he had struggled with for a boy, and it got a lot worse through football, when he was constantly getting hit in those motions. And he said that the voices just got louder. He was actually also taking some type of depressants or some type of antidepressant medication that he was taking during that time where he was drinking and a car accident had happened. He's saying that was a combination of things, and he felt completely out of it. He's saying a lot of the things that he did were not him and not his soul. He feels like it was the voices that were there that had took over his whole entire life. He is now transitioned, but he is actually making a decision to stay in that particular realm and not consider reincarnating just yet. He has a lot of things that he is working on and that he is healing from. So he is not ready just yet to make his decision to move forward, to reincarnate, to try a new or have a new experience on this earthly realm. He is healing, and he hopes that you guys can heal from his story. He is also talking about to be careful about being frivolous and enjoying yourself too much. He keeps making references to partying, that a lot of the times when you party or do things above and beyond, and connecting with something that is, you feel like it's outside of yourself, but it is really you, it can lead to a lot of things, a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. So he is letting you know here and now. So I want to thank you guys for aligning with Ariana. If you would like your own personal reading, please visit www.alignwithariana.com. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe. If you would like to follow me, please follow me on Instagram at alignwith_Ari, and that's ARI, for more details, for more goodies,